presentation is on the recruitment of WUE students to survive budget cuts. Before I start, let me let you know, I'm not saying we should only recruit mainland WUE students. I believe we need to have white students also. It's just to help us get through the budget cuts. For my presentation, I'm going to talk about what's going on overall in the business community and universities, and specifically what's happening in Kobe, and how we're currently marketing towards students, and my proposal of the marketing and recruitment towards WUE students, and why we should concentrate on them, and what will influence them to actually come to our institution. So currently, there's a decline in enrollment of the College of Business. AACSB showed that from 2009 to 2011, this side is public universities, and that side is private. There's actually been a decline in the enrollment in the College of Business throughout the nation. And because of this and other factors, universities are not generating as much revenue. And a testimony from the 2010 Chancellor Rose Zhang, the budget cuts were a total of $7.4 million, and we're going to, in 2010, we're going to grow to 7.8 in 2011, and that shows pretty much how it's been going. The budget cuts have been continuing. And so far in Kobe specifically, according to Dr. Platz, when he came in and gave his presentation, Kobe's losing about $500,000 a year, and the graduation rate for UH Hilo as a total for 6 years is 36.3%, and only 9.1% of those graduates are of the College of Business, which is pretty low considering our business degree is really high quality. And one of the basic objectives from Dr. Platz is that we want to break even, which is just try not to be in debt. So through Kobe, some of the big strengths were basically the quality of the degree and the tuition, the percentage of full-time faculty, our diversity on campus, and the low class size. And that is a huge deal, and that will show later how that works into getting new students. And some of the weaknesses are low graduation rate and are unknown to mainland. Our degree is not necessarily as well known as a lot of the other public institutions, and that hurts us recruiting students from other parts of the country. And right now there's a 35% cap on out-of-state students. Right now we're at 32%, and so we really can't grow that much. And our opportunities is basically surrounded around Hawaii. It's a travel destination, and there's multiple cultural backgrounds where people can learn different aspects of life and business. And employers are increasing demand on well-rounded developed graduates. Instead of just knowing how to do school, they want to be able to be personable and talk to people. And some of the threats are cheaper online schools, transportation costs a lot to fly here, and there's better known degrees out there. And people from the mainland would rather go to school closer if they believe that degree is going to look better on paper. Right now, through looking at the admissions calendar, in the 2013 fall semester, there's 72 high school events that they will send admissions representatives to go and recruit high school students. There's 22 total college fairs, and 11 of the 22 are to the mainland. The other 11 are in the state of Hawaii. And according to Yuyo Perrin, who's the UH Hilo Marketing and Alumni Director, she said that the focus for marketing is on local students because it's cheaper. And we also utilize a company called Zinch, which they provide names through, students will register on Zinch in order to help with recruitment and obtaining scholarships. So for my proposal, I propose UH Hilo should concentrate marketing on WUE students, and that the cap should grow from 35 to 40%. And we should cut out college fairs entirely because it costs too much, and the number of students we get from those fairs isn't likely to cover the costs. And we should concentrate on full-time or first-time full-time freshmen. The reason we should concentrate on full-time or first-time full-time freshmen is because in the statistics, those are the ones that are counted towards our graduation rate, and we need the stats in order to raise our graduation rate so that our degree looks better and our institution looks better as a whole. The reason why I believe that our cap for out-of-state students should not be at 35%, should it be at 40%, is because in a non-resident policy briefing by Linda K. Johnsrud, the number of non-resident enrollment from 2003 2007 was actually at 35% or higher at this school, and in 04 and 05 was actually 40%. And so I don't understand why the cap of the 35% is so important when we've done it before in the past. And as of right now, the budget cuts are increasing, so we should be able to bring in more students. The reason I believe we should cut out especially the mainland college fairs is because, according to Curtis Nishioka, it costs about $5,000 for each trip for a few days. And if there's 11 of them, that's $55,000 we're spending on college fairs on the mainland. And we discussed that college fairs are not necessarily the best way to recruit students, considering you're one table out of maybe 100, and you can only talk to so many students at one time. And you need to get enough students in order to cover the costs, which is very unlikely. And so, if you don't know who WUE is, I'm a WUE student. I pay 150% tuition, which is more than probably all of you in here. The participating states are Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New Mexico, the Dakotas, Oregon, Utah, Wyoming, Washington State, and Hawaii, of course. Why should we recruit WUE exactly is because basically it's more tuition money. If you look at the predictions for the 2013-2014 tuition, for the in-state students it'll be $6,192 for the year, and for WUE it'd be $9,288. And in order to get the $500,000, the WUE students, you need 27 fewer than you would normal in-state students. So it'd be, we don't need to get the full amount of students to even break even, so anything above that would just be icing on the cake. Another reason for recruiting WUE students is because of the GPA requirements. Our school currently, you have to submit your SAT scores when you want to apply, but they don't really take them into consideration unless your GPA is below 3.0. But with WUE students, for the freshman applicants, you have to have a 3.0 GPA, and for transfers, you have to have a 2.8 cumulative GPA average with 24 college transferable credits. And according to the Higher Education Research Institute at UCLA, or I call it HARRY, they did a study, and the study came from the 2004 CRP Freshman Survey and the National Clearinghouse, and the data set was over 210,000 first-time, full-time freshmen at 356 four-year nonprofit institutions. And what they discovered is that the higher the GPA, the more likely you are to graduate. And as you can see on the chart, as the grades go up, 4-year, 5-year, 6-year, the percentage of graduate at that time goes up. And that would be a huge improvement for our institution, because our average is around here. That's about B minus. So that's not even a 3.0. So as I said before, I don't believe we should be doing college fairs. I do, however, believe we should continue with the high school fairs. There's 72 events in the 2013 fall semester. I think that's a great idea, because one of our missions as an institution is to continue within the community and show that we support them because they support us. And we want as many local students coming in as possible, not only for their money, but because we are a Hilo institution. And also, we need the high school students because they add to the stats. So the transfers don't really apply to those. For the direct marketing to the WUE students, I believe instead of the college fairs, we should just utilize Zinch more. And through Zinch, when the students register, they actually list their GPA, their SAT scores, location, financial stability, and you can use filtering for that. So we should filter for specifically business majors in order to make sure that the students coming in are going to go into business, going to go into Kobe. And through getting those, our Kobe stats will improve from a 9.1% graduation rate to however many of them we get. And the one reason is because our $5,000 trip for college fairs is way overpriced compared to, we can buy 5,000 names from Zinch for $2,500, which is a lot more economical. And we actually, Kurs Nishioka and I talked about how in 2011 the school actually did this for the astronomy major, and the astronomy major grew by 4% the next year. And even though it's not a huge growth rate, he could not iterate how much of a concentration of the names they did for actual astronomy, like the breakdown. So I believe that by saving enough money from cutting out the college fairs, we can actually purchase more names at a discounted rate. So we would actually be able to get more students our information out there. Another thing is that when we sent, the way they send out information from the school would be via email instead of hard mail, which is cheaper. And also, as you all know, it's really easy to copy, paste, forward information over the internet, which is not necessarily a good thing. It's kind of like pirating, but at the same time, it would get our name out there to more students because not every family is going to be able to register with Zinch. But if you are a student who gets information about Hawaii Hilo, more likely to share with your friends what schools they've sent, or what schools have sent information to you, what you're talking about. And through indirect marketing, social media can actually bring transfers. That's why another reason why I believe we should concentrate on the freshmen, because usually transfers come to this school for a reason. I came here for sports, you transferred here, she transferred here. Usually it's for financial reasons or a family reason, or you just don't like it, you want to come back home, or maybe Manoa is too expensive so you can't afford it, so you come to Hilo instead. A lot of times transferring will happen through social media. Also because 1 in every 5 people on a smartphone, even Dr. Burke has a smartphone, can't work it, he's got one.
Hey, I'm learning.
You're learning slowly. You have your students using a presentation so you know how to use it. But so people even like Dr. Burke have them. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everyone posts videos. A lot of my friends, I have a Facebook, I don't really use it, I don't know how to use it, but there's pictures of me in Hawaii and my friends text me, call me about, hey, how's the beach, how's this, how's that. So if you look in all the states, a lot of the states that I showed that are a part of WUE have snow, lots of it. If you're in the snow, in a blizzard, in a room, and there's a picture of your friend surfing on the beach, you're going to think about transferring, especially when I start to talk about tuition in a second.
Patrick, 2 minutes.
Okay. So some points to get WUE students to come. The in-state tuition, our WUE tuition compared to other colleges' in-state tuition is very comparable. Using collegeresults.com, I was able to compare the 2010-2011 college rates. And I did a comparison of 50 similar colleges. It's one of the aspects of collegeresults.com. And our WUE tuition and fees of $18,398 was in the 27% lower range. 27% of the schools were lower, but 73% of the schools were higher from comparable. Those aren't necessarily WUE schools, but those are comparable with our grad rates and our type of school system. But I took also 31 schools on my own that are all WUE schools. I went through each state and picked out 2 or 3, except for states like Wyoming who only have 1 school, and then California's got a bunch, so I took some more from them. But they're all public schools, none of them are private. And our WUE tuition was lower than 65% of the other WUE schools. So being able to show that you might think you're paying more, but really you're paying very similar or slightly above what your in-state school costs, but we don't have snow and blizzards, and it's Hawaii and the lifestyle and culture. I got 2 minutes. So, our faculty is really good. 75% are full-time. We have small class sizes, which a lot of people like from when they transfer to a small institution because they don't want to be just a number. They want to actually have representation and know their teachers. And of course, the Hawaii lifestyle is completely different than all the states with snow and deserts and nothing else to do. Through utilizing these, or through going towards WUE students, some of the weaknesses that I feel like we could take away with the low graduation rate are bringing them in. They're required to have a GPA of a certain degree, which will help which has shown to increase graduation rates. The indirect marketing will allow us to be more known to the mainland, especially when we have graduates go back home. They start to work, our degree will go throughout businesses. The 35% cap on out-of-state students should be at 40% in order to increase revenue. And it'll allow Kobe to gain more revenue and break even, hopefully. And the better-known degree will eventually subside once our graduates go out and go in the workplace. And the big thing is this opportunity where employers increase demand on warrant students. There is a survey that's demonstrated 9 out of 10 employers want students that demonstrate ethical judgment, integrity, intercultural skills, capacity for continued learning. And 91% of employers believe that students should have experience solving problems with people whose views are different. And our diversity and different cultures at this university will allow students to be more acceptable to those.
Good job. We have maybe one quick question while Patrick and Matt are changing places.
Yes,
I don't have a question, but it's just a quick observation. First of all, the 35% cap is set by legislature.
Yeah.
So what you're proposing is really a two-pronged strategy.
Yeah.
One that starts with us getting that cap raised. With that said, there's nothing says